mucho más difícil cuando vives en otro país, porque realmente sí que no sabes cuándo vas a verles. ¿Echas de menos de España? Eso, mi familia, amigos en general. And why did you choose Germany? I choose Germany because I studied biology, and then I decided that it was a good idea to do a year abroad for practical course, and then decide whether I want to continue in research or not, or I should go for a company. And Germany, it's a very good country doing science. They have a lot of money investing in science, which in Spain, actually for researchers is much more complicated.
Okay.
Sara, I would like to ask you, how long do you stay in Germany?
So now I have been in Germany already for 4 years.
Oh.
Also, I would like to say that I also choose Germany because during my school and high school in Spain, in Madrid, I was learning German also as a foreign language. And then I also decided that I wanted to use it and improve it and try to get better also in this. And that's why the combination makes Germany the perfect country for me. Are you going to return to Spain? I don't know yet. For the moment, I will be here in Germany at least for 3 more years because I started my PhD. And I would like to go back to Spain, but if it's possible and I can get a good job as I have here also. How often do you see your family normally if it wasn't for COVID? So usually I try to go to Spain at least each 3 months, more or less. And then for Christmas, I try to stay from maybe the 22nd, 23rd until the Three Magic Kings. But sometimes I need to come a bit earlier. And for summer, I try to go 15 days, more or less. The other times during the year, I go for 4 days. But at least each 3 months, more or less. German when you were thinking, yeah. So I learned German at the school, at the high school, but then I studied in the university 5 years, and during the university I didn't speak any German. And then I came here, I knew German, but I need like 1-2 months to get again to the German language. But in general, I can survive with my German. Was it difficult for you to adapt to the new culture? What helped? What didn't? Can you give examples, please? Yes. So sometimes here for me it was complicated that in Spain we usually come to work, for example, or to high school or something, and you say hello, good morning, maybe you give a hug or something more enthusiastic. And here I can see that people goes to work and usually they say hello and good morning, but you don't have so much emotion. Let's say you don't hug them, you don't kiss them twice as we do in Spain or things like this. And this for me was a bit complicated in the beginning, coming from Madrid and in general with my friends, the university, my family. And for example, this is something that was complicated for me to get used. Also, the time when we have lunch, it's really different in Spain, as you may know. And I was used to have lunch later, and here I need to do it earlier, and also the same for dinner. This was like the worst things to adapt. What's your favorite thing about Germany? So sausage? No, it's a joke. No. I like. So for me, for my job, for example, I really like that they really believe in science and research, and they invest a lot of money. And this is something I really like, which we are really missing also in Spain. So it's one of my favorite, and I would say that's the reason that I'm here living. do you think about living in other country, for example, France? So after my PhD, I don't know what I would do. But I would like to continue in science, and for that reason, I don't want to go back yet to Spain. And I'm thinking in Germany, but also in Switzerland or Austria. But I'm not thinking about France because I don't talk any French. So the language, I find it also something very important if you live abroad, at least that you can have some proximity with the people that lives here. You go to the supermarket, you can talk the language. You go to the doctor, you can talk the language. So I will not choose France or other countries that you cannot talk English or German at least. What do you think will be the biggest difficulties for you if you ever go back? So first of all, finding a job, because I have never worked in a company or in other kind of job, and I'm still doing research. So if I want to go back, I would like to work in a nice lab, and I think that would be the hardest. Find a nice position where I can be happy also as here. But on the other hand, I will be very happy because my family will be there, and this will be also very, very important and a super big reason to go back. Did you find friends quickly, or was it difficult to find connections? So I found friends very easily and very fast, because when I arrived here, first of all, I came with the Erasmus Plus option here, and this was nice because I was done with my bachelor, and then with this you can go, after 1 year of your bachelor, you can go abroad for a practical course or an internship. And then I met a lot of international students from Erasmus, and in the beginning I was hanging with them. But then later I came here in the lab where I was working. There were many other students, international students, and a lot of Spanish people also. And then I got to know that there is a huge, not anymore, but it was a huge Spanish community here in Magdeburg. And then my boss at that moment introduced me more or less the people that were working there. And then I started to get to know everyone. So it was very easy. And then also I was living in a guest house, which is a place where a lot of people from different countries live. And also I had friends from them. So it was super easy. The only thing is that you need to be open-minded, very open-minded. And don't be afraid.
Sarah, can I ask a question?
Yes, sure.
You said you came here with Erasmus Plus.
Yes.
Can you explain a little bit, because we are also participating?
That's why I realized the other day when you told me. Yeah, yes. So during my bachelor, I know that you could do Erasmus, which was for studies abroad. But after that, you have Erasmus Plus, and at that moment, I don't know how it's now, you could go also, even after 1 year, you were done with your bachelor, and in that case, you don't have to take lectures or go to class. You can do an internship for maximum 1 year, and this is how I came here with Erasmus Plus for this. And then I started to stay.
So Erasmus, the normal Erasmus is for when you are still studying, and Erasmus Plus is when you already finished it.
Yeah, when you are already finished. And for example, like me, you said, I want to go 1 year abroad to get experience in what I study, in a company, in a lab, whatever you want. And then you can get this Erasmus Plus scholarship for some months, and you can go out of for 1 year, I think, outside. Yeah.
So the company doesn't pay you, but
So
the European Union.
Yeah, the European Union is the one that is paying you, but since you don't get such a big amount of money, you can still get money from the company or the place where you are doing your internship if they want, of course, but not everyone wants to pay you. In my case, the first 6 months I was with this Erasmus Plus, then because they give you money for maximum 6 months. And then my supervisor at the moment offers me a HIBI position, which is a position that we have here in science. And it's like a mini job for the students, but especially for labs. And then you can combine both because there is not so much money, so you can combine both. Yeah. What's your favorite German food? Schnitzel is my favorite German food. These I really like.
Good.
Yeah. Did you feel directly home in Germany? Not in the very beginning, but later, after having some friends and talking to people, yeah, I can feel now that Germany is also like my second home. Yeah. What kind of benefits do you think you have because of being here? So this is very nice because I think in general you have a lot of benefits if you go abroad for study, for learning a language, for just doing a job and working some days. But for me, it's a huge benefit because researchers are very qualified here in Germany, and if I want to go back to Spain, for example, they will see very good in my CV that I have been in Germany for some years, because this means that you like to be in contact with other people from other cultures, you can talk languages, you wanted to explore the world and not being only in your home country. So for me, I find a lot of benefits here. It's not only this, it's also you have friends from other nationalities, you start to learn other cultures, and also you explore other cultures in the sense of food, for example, cities. I don't know, I would really recommend go outside. At least for a short experience, but I would recommend it. Now, when you come back to Spain, do you feel a little German? Do you feel yourself change? A lot. This is really a lot. So there is something that for me was very weird when I came from here, and it's that here in Germany, when you enter to your place, to your home, you leave in general your shoes in the door, no? Either in the main entrance, or even there's people that they put it outside. In Spain, we never do this. In general, you arrive home, you enter your home, and then you go directly to your bedroom, and usually this is the place where you leave your shoes. So this for me was super shocked when I saw it the first time. And now when I arrive in Madrid, in my mom's place, I'm always taking out my shoes, putting them, and then with my shoes, I'm going to my bedroom. But this is super shock. Also, I got used a lot to have lunch between 12 p.m. or 1 p.m. And then I'm very used also to have dinner latest 9 p.m. And if I go back to Spain, this is super hard, because even if it's weekend, maybe with my family we have lunch at 3 p.m., 4 p.m., something like this. This is super hard. And of course, since I live also alone now, you can feel a lot of difference again when you go to your parents' place. What are you missing here? Yeah, especially my family, I would say. That's like, and friends. That's the most important here. Of course, here I have very good friends, but I also miss other ones I left in Spain. What kind of stereotypes of the German people did you have before coming to Germany?
Very interesting.
Super cool question, I would say. So the first one is that they are very punctual, which in general it is, but sometimes it's not like this, I would say. Other one is that they are very strict and they want to do things always very correct and in this way. And I would say also it's like this, actually, it's true. Of course, not everyone, there are exceptions. But in general, I would say so. Something else? More stereotypes, I don't know right now, but I have to say that I have some from Germans, and usually it's true. Have you got the feeling that being an European citizen has made things easier for you there? Yes, definitely. If you want to come from Spain or from other European countries to Germany, it's very easy. Very, very easy, because you don't need anything. You just need your flight ticket and then arrive in Germany. Of course, there is something very important, and is that you need to register in the city that you are living, that they know that you are living there as foreign, but also it's for Germans, so it's for everyone the same. But we don't have the visa issue, for example, which other nationalities may have. And for example, after 1 year here, I studied a master program also here in Germany, and it was much easier to apply if you were coming from Europe than if you were a foreigner from the European country, because they ask you always for visa and for other kind of documents, blocking accounts in the bank. So being European actually makes things much easier if you want to live in other European country. I think it's not only in Germany, it's in general. But Germany makes things pretty easy for Europeans.
Also, the paperwork that you have to do always in Germany, do you find it more difficult in Germany than in Spain?
Yeah, this is something true also. So in Germany, you need documents for everything, and always a lot. And also, usually you cannot send documents via email. You need to send it via post. This is actually also a super big difference compared to Spain, because you can do documents online or at the phone, but here in Germany it's much more complicated, and you either need to go in person yourself or and also you need a lot of documents. You start a new job, you need even more documents. I don't know, for everything you need a lot of documents, and usually they are pretty complicated. You need a lot of signatures and read a lot of things. Yes.
For a person who doesn't speak German at all, is there always an English version, or do you think you can survive with English?
So when I arrived here, I think this depends really on which city in Germany you are living. But here in Magdeburg, when I arrived 4 years ago, the first thing I had to go was the Burger Bureau to register myself in the city. And then no one was talking in English. Everyone was talking in German. All the documents were German, and you have no versions in English. But now, 4 years later, I know that there is people there talking English, and they can also give you copies in other language. But usually, all the legal documents you need to formalize in Germany, they are in German. So I would really, really recommend, if you are learning German at the school, that you take this advantage, as I did, because it was exactly my same situation, and maybe it's not your best German, but you will make them understand you, more or less. Now, if I go, they will understand much better than 4 years ago, for sure.
And you will understand them better?
Yes, usually, because you train your ear and you start to learn more, yes, definitely. But this is pretty hard for people that they come in the beginning and they don't know any German. Or if you need to make an appointment at the doctor, for example, in the phone. Usually the secretaries, they don't talk English or other language, and you just try to, try and do your best with the German and make it. But usually I have to say, they are very patient if they see that you are a foreigner, and they try to talk slowly and helping you also always. So that's also nicer. ¿Tienes algunos amigos, algunas amigas que también emigraron para trabajar en otro país europeo? Pues sí, tengo una amiga de la universidad que también estudió biología y ahora vive en Londres, en Inglaterra. También trabaja en un laboratorio. Y otra amiga que también vino a Alemania.
Y que están contando de sus experiencias. ¿Puedes decir algo?
Sí. Mi amiga, la que vive en Londres, está muy contenta, le gusta mucho. Pero también Londres es más complicado que Alemania. Para ella es más sencillo porque habla inglés y no tiene otro idioma, pero la vida es diferente. Y mi otra amiga, la que vive en Alemania, está muy contenta. Lleva 2 años, pero ahora va a volver a España porque tiene trabajo ahí. ¿A dónde? Pues una a Alemania, la otra a Londres. knowing all you know about
Weißt du, was das
Germany,
heißt?
if you return back
Kniefallen?
and they give you a chance to
Ob
go
sie
to
Freunde oder
Germany, would
Freundinnen
you?
hat, die
Yes.
auch vorhaben, in ein anderes
Yes,
Land.
definitely.
Okay.
In my plans, I always wanted to come to Germany. When I was in my the year before I finished my high school, I did an exchange with a German girl because we did exchange with a German school and my school. So I went there, I was very happy, I really liked the experience. Then she came here, it was very nice also. And then we repeat for the next 2 years. And then I decided that my German was okay and I wanted to continue learning German. Why not take the opportunity and go after your studies to Germany? So I will definitely come back.
Very good.
Una pregunta muy, muy complicada, pero a mí me gusta mucho Alemania y no me importaría criarlo en Alemania. Tener hijos en Alemania, además, tienes muchos más beneficios que en España. Tienes muchas más ayudas y es más fácil combinar la baja de maternidad que en España. Pero también me costaría mucho que no estuviera cerca de mi familia. Así que no lo sé aún.
Todavía eres muy joven.
Todavía no lo sé. You'll have contact with your... what is this? Girl?
Sonia Martínez, ¿puedes decirlo en español la palabra?
Sí, está escribiendo.
Ja, wahrscheinlich wie so ein
Freundinnen.
Austausch da gemacht.
I don't know what she means.
¿Sigues con tu alemana? Hasta hace 2 años sí. Ahora creo que ha cambiado de móvil. No tiene WhatsApp, no tiene Facebook. Pero le he escrito 2 emails y espero contactar con ella de nuevo. Do you prefer Germany or Spain? Spain. Spain, because I have always there, so and my family is there, my friends are there, all my childhood is there. I prefer Spain, but the opportunities at the moment, Germany.
So for this time of your life, it's perfect.
For this time of my life, I'm very happy in Germany.
Some people are writing.
Yes.
Sara, maybe in the meantime I can ask you another question. Do you have a plan? When will you go back to Spain?
Forever, to live again?
Yes, when you go back to your family and maybe you have a job in Spain, or do you have a plan?
Yeah.
When will you go back, or you?
I still have a contract for 3 more years here, and I would like to finish my PhD first. And then later, I will need to think if I want to continue doing research or I prefer to be in the company. And if I prefer to be in a company, most probably I will come back to Spain. But if I decide to stay in science and research, I think for the moment, I will continue in Germany. And after that, I would like to go back to Spain.
Thank you.
No problem. ¿Crees que la oportunidad que estamos teniendo nos beneficiará en el futuro? Con la oportunidad de aprender otro idioma, no sé si es por eso. Katy, ¿qué piensas?
La oportunidad que estamos teniendo a lo mejor las oportunidades de viajar, ahora está escribiendo. Nos va a decir.
Me refiero a Erasmus. Ah, vale. Sí, sin duda. Y es muy, muy, muy buena oportunidad. Y poder hacerlo así hoy online, por ejemplo, creo que está bien. Conocéis
Ja,
gente
das
que
ist
está
echt gut.
fuera,
Das ist echt gut.
que les va bien.
Das geht
Y
schon
que
so,
veis que
ne?
los idiomas son importantes
so
para
in
salir,
Person wäre
hacer
alles
cosas
schöner, ne?
diferentes
Aber
y que cuando vuelvas a tu país vean que has hecho algo distinto al resto. Sí, sí, es un gran beneficio. Would you recommend going to Germany for finding job or studying what you want? I would recommend both because I came here for this 1 year internship and then I decided that I was happy in Germany and I studied a master of 2 years here in Germany. And I would say for studies was really, really good. I also studied my Bachelor of Biology in Madrid and it was great also, but here is much cheaper than in Spain in a public university, first of all. And second, you have the chance to study in English. You can also do it or German, but I did in English. You can also study in English in Spain, of course, but I would say that if you are studying here, at the same time, you have other benefits as improving the languages, like German and English, both of them, getting to know other cultures. I would say I will really recommend it for studying and for finding a job also. Of course, depends what is your field. You can find a lot of work in Spain. Actually, if you are an engineer, for example, you will have a lot of work. But in my case, there is work, but just for a few people. So for me, if you would like to stay in science, for example, I would really recommend to go abroad. For your can for example, to work in other countries if you want to try experience. As a conclusion, how would you describe the experience of living abroad for a long time? I would say this really is very, you can be very enriched actually. It's nice. You get to know a lot of people, the cultures, the language, and after some time, people is tired of living abroad. In my case, still I'm happy. I think it really depends on your daily life, like your work, your studies, your boss, everything, your friends, if you have social life. This year doesn't count, but in general, it's like this.
Ja, dieses Jahr schon.
And I would say it's very nice to live abroad. Has your opinion about Spain changed because of living in Germany? What for better, what for worse? Yeah. So yes, when I left Spain, I already had some opinions about how things were done in the country. But now I can really say, for example, Germany is investing a lot in education, for example, and giving a lot of importance to the student if you are in class and that the student can learn like more direct contact with the professor or the teacher, for example, in the university level. In addition, also, for example, they are investing money in medicine, in research, in hospitals, in people learning languages also. So this I can really see a difference with Spain. And I don't like so much how they are doing it there, but I would like to see that it's getting better in some years with this situation. What for better? Still, I have the feeling that the Spanish people are not nicer than Germans, of course not, or friendly, but when you meet someone which is Spanish for the first time, you can see that suddenly it's your best friend. But in Germany, it takes more time to get too used to that person and to be friends with them. But in general, this is the only thing I could say.
Okay, and I would be interested in what have you seen from Germany up to now? What parts of Germany?
Okay, So when I was at high school, when I did this exchange, this was in between it was a small city actually, between Constance and Freiburg. And so I visit all the south of Germany, which I really, really like. It was super nice. And then since I came here to Magdeburg, I have been in Dresden, in Cologne, in Hamburg, in Berlin, of course, and in some villages also around this area. For example, for Christmas or things like this, they are very nice village that show super good German Christmas, and it's very nice. And this is what I have visited more or less, I think, and Hanover also.
Okay. So you like the south very much?
Yeah, it was very nice. With the Black Forest, I went also to have a visit there, and I really like. And also the small villages are there are really good. They are like in a fairy tale, more or less.
Yeah.
It was nice.
You didn't go to the Harz?
Also, yeah, I completely forgot. Yes. I usually go every winter, not this winter. But I also like it because here, very close to Magdeburg, you can find a lot of places in the Harz where you can walk, do trekking and things like this, go to the mountain, and it's very nice also. Even for summer, it's nice.
And when you go back to Spain, do you always fly from Berlin, or are there other connections that you already took?
So I'm flying from Berlin to Madrid. And now there's a new airport actually in Berlin, which I already used this Christmas, and you have direct flights to Madrid. But I also took a flight from Madrid to Hamburg. And then from Hamburg, of course, you need to take some trains to reach Magdeburg. But this, just for example, I did it like this because due to the bad weather and the snow in Madrid, during these first days of January, I couldn't fly from Madrid the first day, and then the second day they canceled my flight and to Berlin. I don't know why, but I took other one which was flying to Hamburg. So I tried to that connection. It's longer, but it's the only way to come back to Germany.
David is writing something.
Yeah.
Maybe he wants to know something about the actual situation, coronavirus. What kind of things did you have to do? Like, did you have to make a test?
Yeah. So right now, Spain was asking when I wanted to go during Christmas, they were asking for a PCR test to know whether you were positive or not before you travel to Spain to enter the country. And after that, you could come to Germany directly. However, in my case, I came the 13th of January, and for that time already Germany were asking for a PCR test from the country that you were coming, if it was a risk country. And then you show your test in the airport and you can travel. And then it's necessary to be in quarantine for 10 days, unless you stay for 5 days. On the 5th day, you do again another test. And if that test is negative, then you can continue your work or go to class or something. Well, class are canceled now, but...
Okay, there are other questions.
Yes. When meeting Germans there, have you noticed they also expected something from you because of being Spanish? I mean, it's stereotypes completely. So, for example, now I'm at work, and the first time I came here, not in the place I work now, in the previous one, it was kind of 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. and they were asking me, when do you go to sleep siesta? And I was like, it's Tuesday, it's 3, I need to continue working, maybe on Saturday I will take a small nap, but not now. So this is basically the most typical stereotype. Also, they think that we usually arrive late, and I would say some Spanish, they actually do it, but not everyone.
Not you?
Not me. But I was also not late in Spain. But now that I live in Germany, this becomes even earlier. But yes, definitely they were expecting from me this, that maybe at 2 I would say goodbye, I'm done for today, I will go for siesta. And of course, it was not like this. This is, I mean, this is very typical, and every German, whenever you start working, they ask you this. And it doesn't happen only to me. I know it happens also to other Spanish people. Do you think your inability to speak German has created opportunities, difficulties for you in your daily out of work life? Which ones? Yes. So since I came here already knowing some German, this makes my life much easier. For example, in my first year, I was also learning more German to get used and so on. But the idea already that you know a little bit of German, this always makes people a bit more enthusiastic. Like, you know some German, then sometimes we can talk in German. Yes, sure. So this always brings you more possibilities, always. And also, for example, in Spain, the year before I came here, I was doing a volunteer program with children. And then here in Germany, I wanted to do the same. And then this I did for the first, the first year, maybe 3 or 4 months I did. I also did a voluntary service, but with old people in this case, and the only possibility you could do it was with German. Otherwise, they didn't want people that were not able to talk any German at all. So this actually opens you a lot of doors in general.
Yeah, we already talked about that subject before.
Yeah,
it's always good. So many people think when you come to Germany, we already listen to a woman from the
Embassy.
Thank you. She also said the same thing, that you always need German. We will listen to Irene now. I'm very interested in what she was saying.
Yeah.
So yes, Sara. So let me at this point let me thank you for answering so openly and for give us a good impression from your feelings and your life here in Germany, and yes, of the problems you deal with and you dealt with. So thank you very much. Yes, and I would ask the students if you have maybe last question, you can write it in the public chat, or so. If not, we would say thank you very much, Sara, for the interview. And yes, from my side, I wish you all the best for your PhD and yes, for your job. And I hope you have in the future more good impressions from Germany and especially from the Germans.
Of course. Until now, everything was very good, so I hope it will continue like this.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Nada, vosotros.
Yes. Bye. Thank you very much.
Hasta pronto.
Hasta pronto. Adiós. Bye bye.
So, yes.